Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Amy Sam. I am the Health Education Project Specialist at the Maxwell and Eleanor Blum Patient Family Learning Center at Mass General.
My name's Maria. I'm an intern at the Blum Center.
Today's program is part of our Blum Center Well-Being Series. Before I get started, I just want to go over a few items with you all. Please note that today's session is being recorded for educational purposes. If you're interested in viewing the recording, it'll be made available on the Blum Center website at massgeneral.org/Blum-Center. Please note that you're in listen-only mode. Everyone has been muted. We hear our guest speaker today. If you have any questions, thoughts, anything you'd like to share, you may do so in the chat. It'll be available throughout the session. Only Blum Center staff and our guest speaker will see your comments and questions. Please do not share any personal medical information or questions in the chat. If you have a personal medical question, please ask your doctor. Lastly, at the end of today's session, you'll be directed to a brief survey, which I'd like to ask you to complete. Your feedback is important to us as you plan future programs. Okay, so next I'm going to turn it over to Maria, who will introduce you all today's guest speaker.
Thanks, Amy. Joining us today, we have Carmen Alvarez. Carmen is the Director of Physician and Patient Engagement at Mass General Brigham International. She is also an organizational culture strategist, certified mindfulness facilitator and teacher, Reiki master, well-being leader, and published author. Carmen is a well-being teacher and coach. As a certified workforce mindfulness facilitator, she integrates mindfulness and organizational culture strategy to provide a comprehensive and integrated wellness approach to workplace well-being. She joins us today to lead a session titled Awaken Your Senses, Mindfulness Practices for Daily Life. Please join us in welcoming Carmen.
Thank you, Maria. That was so lovely. I love the way you speak, and your smile as well is so pretty.
Thank you.
So welcome everyone to today's session. I am so happy to be here with you to explore this topic. And I was saying earlier, it is a beautiful and wonderful day, sunny, just a nice day to explore the senses. Every day is a nice day to explore mindfulness. So today we're going to discuss awakening our senses and mindfulness for every day life. So thank you for joining. But first, let me just say this. We can't always change what's happening around us, but we can change what happens within us. We've heard variations of this saying many times before, I am sure, but there is so much power to this. We own the way that we process information, the way that we receive information, the way we react to day-to-day situations through our senses, our mind, and the emotions. So everything that happens within us, that is what we can control. And so today, what we will be exploring and practicing together will allow you to exercise this fully. So in today's agenda, we will explore how mindfulness enhances quality of life and reduces stress. We will be doing in very interactive and experiential learning, so to awaken our senses. And we'll conclude with practical ways to introduce mindfulness into your day-to-day. So my goal is that you walk away today with at least one or two things that we do together or that we explore that you'll bring into your day today to do from here until forever, hopefully. So I hope you heard or saw the note. We will be doing mindful eating as part of the experience today. So please, when you can, if you can grab a piece of fruit, it could be a raisin, a grape. I have a piece of orange that I'll be enjoying with you later. So if you grab something at some point and have it ready. We won't be eating it yet. Please just have it ready. It's a whole experience. So first, I have a question for you. What brought you here today? What caught your attention? Was it the topic? Are you interested in mindfulness? I would love to hear your responses and your questions. And actually, if you look up at your screen and if you're able to type, I would like for you to answer the poll question. What brought you here today? And you can choose as many as you like. We definitely want this to be as interactive as possible, especially because it is about exploring our senses. And because of privacy, this must be a webinar. So we are protecting your privacy, but we also want to make it interactive. So please answer the poll question if you can. That's just so that we can share a little bit about each other while also protecting your privacy. All right, so if we have any answers, are you ready?
Give it a few more seconds for folks to answer. I still see responses coming in.
Great, wonderful. I'm so excited. So the options are because you are working on stress reduction, finding ways, you're curious about mindfulness, you want to improve your focus, and it could be other. And if you choose other, just be ready because I'm going to be asking you to put in the chat what you chose your other to be. I'm very curious about that.
Okay. Ready to
Okay,
close the poll.
great. Thanks, Amy. What brought you here today? Oh my Lord, 89% of you are here for stress reduction. Well, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. You're in the right place, and thank you for answering. 44% are curious about mindfulness. Wonderful. 11% of us want to improve our focus. And then 22% chose other. So be very curious to hear what that other was. So please, at some point in the chat, please go ahead and tell me what the other reason is. Thank you for answering that. So we are definitely going to address the stress reduction with what we are doing today. And so here's how. What does it mean to be mindful? What does mindfulness mean? We hear this all the time nowadays. It's become so popular, I guess. But here's what mindfulness truly is. Mindfulness is giving your full attention to the present moment. So it also means being aware of what's going on with your feelings, your thoughts, and your senses. See, there are 3 dimensions of us as human beings, right? It's the feelings, it's the thoughts, it's the senses. Today, we're going to do a lot through the senses, which will also help get us in touch with feelings and thoughts. But that is mindfulness, is giving your full attention. And what's key is the present moment. It invites us to slow down and engage with life more intentionally, helping us step out of the routine and the day-to-day and truly experience the richness of each moment. And through mindfulness, we cultivate awareness. That is a key word for today. If I were to say, one of the few key words for today, awareness is one. Cultivate awareness, which allows us to respond to life's challenges with greater clarity and calm. So why is this important, or how does this work? It has to do with the mind-body connection. And why is there a connection between the mind and the body? The mind and the body are incredibly interconnected. In fact, it's impossible to remove that connection. So, for example, have you ever been, going through a very stressful situation? Maybe something happened in your personal life or at work, a stressful period, and then you notice that you're calming down with a cold. Anyone? You end up with a cold, you end up feeling ill, a little sick, right? You start to feel, maybe some of us process stress, emotions, and other through the stomach, so GI system. So sometimes our GI tract is out of whack, right? All of these things, there's a reason for all of it. Your mind is constantly listening, and your body is listening as well. So when your mind is not at ease, guess what else is also not at ease? Is the body. Your body starts to respond because it wants to protect you, because it understands that if you're stressed, it understands that something is not well. And so every system and every hormone and every brain reaction starts to work towards protecting you, quote unquote, because it's understanding that something very dangerous is happening to you because you are stressed. And that is the nervous system reacting, and that's the nervous system, that's what it's there for. So when we experience stress, our body reacts physically. Our heart rate increases, the muscles tense up, our breath quickens, right? You ever notice how you breathe when you're stressed? That's the mind-body connection happening. And so conversely, when we intentionally calm the body, we send signals to the brain that everything is safe and that it's okay to relax. So this dynamic in the relationship means that we can use tools like mindful breathing and movement and sensory awareness, which is what we're doing today, to soothe the mind and activate the body's natural relaxation response, which is what sensory awareness is part of as well. Great. I see some responses in the chat. Thank you for putting them in. Hopefully help with brain fog and burnout. Absolutely. This definitely, yes, through mindfulness, absolutely address stress and burnout, and we'll see how. Great. So that is the mind-body connection. It makes perfect sense, right? Your body is listening to what is happening in your mind. This is something that happens unconsciously too, by the way. I just want you to be aware. If you are stressed because of work, because of burnout, because of a stressful situation, because of trauma too, your body is going to automatically react. It's not something you are doing. I don't want you to feel bad, or I'm getting myself sick. Well, yes, your body will react physically to what's happening in your mind and in your heart, right? In your heart as far as emotions, but do not feel judged. In fact, it's the opposite. One of the key practices in mindfulness is to practice self-love and kindness. Being kind to yourself is a key practice here. I just want you to know that this happens automatically. It's going to happen. Therefore, the reason we are here is to learn how to be intentional about that mind-body connection so that you can manage your physical response, your emotional response, and work on burnout. Physical things that can help my brain. Great. Perfect. Okay. So here's the power to connecting with our senses then. When we've just decided that we're going to be intentional about this because we are here to work on the response, the body response to stress and burnout. So we are understanding the power of connecting with the senses in order to do that. So why does this matter? So Dr. Benson, who is the one who created this relaxation response, he has proven through a lot of research and studies that activating that being aware of your senses and being mindful, right, in the moment, connecting to awareness, it activates your parasympathetic nervous system, and that is the nervous system that we discussed earlier that is always listening to how you are reacting to your external world in order to judge whether or not you are safe. So that system is feeding off of, your thoughts, your mind, and how your body is reacting. And so being intentional about your senses and manipulating or being in control of these, it helps you reduce stress and enhances resilience as well. Enhances resilience, which is key. So view and think of our senses as gateways to the present moment. And why is that? Why would our senses be a gateway to the present moment? Well, I'll give you the perfect example of one of our senses. One of our senses is smell or breath, right? When we breathe, as long as we are intentional and mindful about it, the breath is something that we do in the present moment. When you bring your attention to the breath and slow down, it brings your attention to the present moment. And why is that? Obviously, we're breathing in the now. We don't come in here and say, oh, I did a lot of breathing today, so I don't have to breathe tomorrow, right? Or I did it enough yesterday, so I don't have to do it today. No, every breath is in the now moment. So similarly, all of our senses can be that gateway to connect you to the now moment. And in doing so, that is the gateway to taking ownership of your reactions and how you explore the world through your senses. So the sensory awareness is not only enhances our ability to focus and enjoy life's small pleasures, but it also reduces stress and promotes a sense of calm. So having said that, are you ready to explore? This whole session today is going to be very much experiential. So I want all of us to go through this together. In preparation for this, what we will be doing is mindfulness sensory experience. So I want you to be prepared in order to do this. Let's turn your phone off on silent if you can. If you're in a busy room, maybe go in a place where you could be quiet and you can really listen in and be aware of your senses. I would like to invite you to sit comfortably but alert. Don't slouch, don't get too comfortable that you'll fall asleep, but be comfortable. Focus your attention on each inhale and exhale as we go through the exercises. And we'll be learning how to manage distractions through this process. So I hope you are ready. So we're going to go ahead and get started now with a breath. As I was mentioning before, it's the easiest gateway to connecting to our senses is the breath. So we're going to start it with doing mindful breathing, very, very simply by taking 3 deep breaths together. I'm going to guide you through this, okay? So I want you to sit comfortably with your spine erect but comfortable. Allow your arms to fall. And if it feels comfortable for you, you can close your eyes or you can just have them gaze into an anchor point around you. Okay, let's take a transition breath, natural. And then now, let's take a deep breath in together. I'm going to count. Right? Hold and exhale. Right, let's take another deep breath in together. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Don't force the breath out, just allow it to exit. Empty your lungs naturally. Great. And now another and last deep breath in together. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, and exhale. Empty in your lungs completely. Take it as slow as you can. This is not a race. The opportunity here is to allow your body to relax with every inhale and every exhale. And I feel like we need to do one more because I sense that the first one was just, getting ready. So let's do one more in. So get yourself comfortable and ready. Okay, let's take one inhale, deep, 1, 2, 3, and exhale, 3, 4, 5, as long as you go. There's no judgment. When we exhale, some of us have the capacity to inhale for much longer and take in more oxygen, and so the exhale may be longer. Great, and so now allow your breath to go back to normal. Just normal breath. Great. So now let's practice mindful awareness. How was that for you? Did you notice if your mind wandered from your breath? Or did it help you stay focused and in the now moment? As I said earlier, this isn't about judgment. The practice, every practice that has to do with your senses, is about bringing awareness to the experience, bringing awareness to your own physical sensation, to your own experience. You can wander, your mind may wander, and that is okay. It is about being kind about your wandering mind instead of judging it. If your eyes were closed, I should have said that earlier. If your eyes were closed, go ahead and open them. So, how was that and what did you notice? I would love for you to type in the chat. What did you notice about these breaths? Okay, so I have an answer here. It says, as time went on, it felt better and better, and I wanted to stay longer to relish in those good, relaxed feelings. That is wonderful. That's great. And that's the beauty of being mindful with any of these experiences, is that you start to realize how yummy it is to be there. And that's good because it will encourage you to practice more. And then someone else says that it was relaxing and started to yawn. This is exactly the relaxation response. You know why you yawn? This is why we yawn. When your nervous system receives the message to the brain that you are relaxing, that your body is relaxing, and therefore everything is well, boom, you yawn. That is your brain saying, oh, all is okay. She's doing great. That's your body taking in a relaxed breath in because you are relaxed. This is wonderful. So I applaud you. I applaud this yawning. This is the one time you see in a presentation or any presentation where, the person speaking is happy when you see yawning. So, and then someone else says, yeah, the 3 breaths was not enough. No, absolutely not. I mean, it's so yummy, right? We wanted to keep doing. That's why I did another one there at the end, because it's just so wonderful. Once you start, you won't want to stop. It absolutely is yummy. I'm so glad that you guys had that response, and very happy to share that example of the yawn, because it is the perfect example of the nervous system response to the relaxation response practice. This is wonderful. I'm just reading your comments here now. While learning about mindfulness, I am also letting go of old patterns. When you said this is not a race, that was so helpful. I typically race around. Absolutely. You're so very aware of yourself. I applaud this awareness that you have about your own patterns. That is so wonderful. Yes. So this is the invitation. With everything that we do, even if it has something to do with your senses, which are connected to your physical self, it gives you a window into your patterns, into your thoughts, your feelings, right? Remember what we said at the beginning. This is all about connecting to awareness, awareness of your feelings, your thoughts, and your body, of course. But it's so much more than that. But all this is like magic that it starts to come in when you slow down and allow your body to feed you the information. All this information is there for us all the time. We just never stop enough or long enough to listen. You know that saying when we say, can you listen to your body? Well, this is what it means. It means being mindful about your senses, taking in what's happening and interpreting what your body is letting you know. That's what that means. Someone else says, I don't give myself enough me time. So having these midday sessions allows me to slow down briefly. I am so, so happy. Absolutely. We need a lot more of this. A lot more of this breaks. And speaking of the midday break, now let's do another experience together. And this is the mindful eating practice, since it is lunch. So I would like for you to grab something that we can eat together, whether it is a raisin, a grape, some sort of fruit, even if it's just a mint that you can find nearby. I would like for you to get a hold of it and don't eat it. Please wait for the prompting. We're not going to eat it. Not yet, anyways. First, we need to hold it. So hopefully all of us have something that we can use for this experience. I have a mandarin. And so when you have your item, and I cannot see you because of the way this works, is I cannot see the audience, but I am going to trust that each of us has something that we can play around with for this experience. So here you can see my mandarin. So grab something you can play with for this practice. Okay. So when you're ready, we're going to go ahead and get started. So first, and remember to always sit yourself, if you're sitting with your mind, with your spine erect, not slouching. Again, you want to bring some attention to this experience when you do censoring, mindful, anything. So let's go ahead and get started. And the first thing we're going to do is look at your item. What did you get? If it's a raisin or a grape or apple, whatever it is that you grabbed, even if it's a piece of bread or a mint, just take a look. Notice the shape. Notice the shape of what you're holding as if you've never seen it before. Pretend you're looking at it through new eyes. Pretend you're looking at it from the eyes of a cat or a dog, or just look at it like you've never looked at it before. What do you notice? What is the shape of this item? I'm noticing my mandarin is so perfect in its little pieces. It is so beautiful, the beautiful triangles and how it's each of them individually wrapped. It is so perfect. I love the texture. It's soft, but yet there's some structure to it. And the color is absolutely beautiful. The color of this mandarin is so vibrant. It is beautiful. It's like art. It reminds me of the paintings that we see in classical paintings, right? Where they would do the still art, always fruit on the table. And it is absolutely beautiful. I can see now why they were so drawn to fruit. It literally is a piece of art. And now let's do touch. Touch it. Don't eat it. Remember, please try not to eat it. Do the touch, feel the texture, and feel the weight. Is it heavy? Is it light? For some reason, as I'm holding my item, it just makes me not laugh, but it's cute. It's because it has a little weight to it, but it's at the same time, it's very light. I don't know how to explain it. It's very cute. It's adorable. I love feeling the weight of it on my hand. The texture, just touch it. Is it soft? How's your item? Does it feel soft? Is it mushy? Is it crunchy? Is it hard? I don't really know what you're holding. So just really explore with the touch what you're holding. Right? And so now, if you've enjoyed that for a little bit, let's smell it. Smell it. Bring your item with a lot of reference. Bring it towards your nose and smell it. Close your eyes if you can, and if that feels safe to you, close your eyes and enjoy the smell. You've never smelled it before. It's been so long since I took the time to really enjoy the smell of a mandarin. Oh my goodness, what does that smell? What does your item smell like? Mine has a typical mandarin smell, which is sweet and citrusy, but it's also so fresh and it's making my mouth water, you guys, just smelling it. I haven't tasted it yet, but my mouth, all my senses are engaged. My mouth is watering because of the scent. It's incredible, you see? Yeah, my mouth is watering so much. It's just asking me to put it in my mouth, but we're not there yet. Smell your item, appreciate what the freshness or whatever it is and how it smells. So now, without any rush, take a little piece of your item. Don't put it all in your mouth. Let's take a tiny piece of it and place it on your tongue. Do not chew. Place it on your tongue and pause. Feel it with your tongue inside your mouth. And notice what happens. Okay, now finally, go ahead and chew on your item. You notice the taste. Mm-mm-mm. The texture. Notice how the texture changes once you chew. Notice the juiciness. If you have a fruit. Notice the taste. Notice that where you notice the taste. Is it just with your tongue? Is it your mouth? Do you notice the taste through your nostrils as well? I just noticed that when because I'm doing this so mindfully, I just realized that a lot of the taste has to do with the smell because I felt it through my nose and it enhances the taste. Great. All right, so I hope you enjoy that practice. And that is a way that we can engage all of our senses by doing something as simple as eating, something that we do every single day. But if you pause in the middle of your day, as someone was saying, this is your opportunity to take eating a piece of fruit, a mindful moment, connecting with your senses, giving all of your senses a gift, the gift of pausing and the gift of wondering. I think it's fun, right, to look at an item with new eyes and noticing something about your item that you've never noticed before, such as the membranes in the membrane in the mandarin. So what did you notice? What did you notice about your item? I would love to hear in your chat if you noticed anything new about it. Maybe you only had a piece of bread, but you noticed something new about how it touched you, your mouth, or how it tastes, the texture, the color. Sometimes the shapes could be very interesting too, very funny. So go ahead and put in the chat if anything stroke your, if you noticed anything new. And also, what did you notice about experiencing this mindful eating? Did anyone feel that their item tasted differently because of how mindful we were enjoying it or how much we paused? Okay, I had a piece of chocolate and really became aware of the variations in its brown color and that it was both smooth and waxy. Great. Never thought of looking at a piece of chocolate like that, right? Yeah, so anything else? And was that more enjoyable once you finally, it was kind of torturous too, as well, right? Where I was having you hold it and smell it and look at it, but don't eat it. When you finally ate it, was it more enjoyable? Right? I think so. And so there's something to be said about improve. Yes, someone said that improve the taste. Absolutely. That's why in many different areas of medicine and psychology, people always say, slow down your eating. There's so much to be said about when you slow down and enjoy each bite. There's so many benefits to it. We're going to go into it. So it's not just the benefits of digestion. There's every sense in your body benefits when you slow down and enjoy every bite. Imagine your imagination, if your imagination was engaged because you were looking at the texture and my mind went to art because I love art, so somehow it connected to the art that I see at the MFA. One of my favorite places to go is the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. So when I see this orange, I look at those paintings there. Someone says it was more enjoyable and you were more appreciative of it. Absolutely. This is the point. Um, and someone else said that they had a small York patty and that definitely experienced a stronger mint taste. Oh my God, I love those. Yes, absolutely. You noticed the minty taste. It was different experience to slow down and not just inhale it. Absolutely. We miss so much when we just inhale it. You guys were missing out. Um, what else? Someone else says that it was almost like a sensual experience, engaging more in more than the taste because it took longer. And yeah, absolutely. Every experience. Then someone says it's a lower calorie intake. Absolutely. You slow down, less calories at least, possibly. But you're loving every taste. You're engaging in so much. It's a whole world. It's almost like we have a whole world to experience and discover when you think about every experience as a wonderland. Someone else says that I had a piece of almond and its oblong shape reminded me of some trees I admire. Oh my goodness. Yes, you see? How cool. It is so wonderful. I really, truly, if you think about it, something as simple as grabbing a piece of fruit or enjoying what you're eating, allowing your mind to wander with curiosity and opening your senses to receive the experience through all of the senses, right? The smell, the taste, is a wonderland, you guys. And when we slow down, not only will what you're eating be more tasty, but also a whole lot is happening, right? We're engaging in the relaxation response. Now your body and your mind are relaxed and happy. There goes burnout out the window. And hopefully you are laughing through this experience because it is very joyful. It is a joyful experience as well. So, why do mindful eating? I have a graph here that says, obviously, we feel better about yourself and your body, right? When you do this, someone said less calories, of course, is here as well. You help manage your weight, obviously, but it reduces anxiety and depression symptoms because you allow your mind to wonder, to experience curiosity, to welcome in through all of your senses, all this experience. And you then improve your mood and your energy level, and your focus will improve through this. Something as simple as being mindful when we eat will actually, when you go back to work after lunch, you'll have a sharper focus. Your joy levels will be up as well. Great. Well, that was wonderful. I'm so glad that we experienced that together. Now, engaging your other senses. We just did a lot with taste and, eating and everything else, but imagine that we have a whole world of senses to enjoy here. So make sure that when you go through mindful experiences and engaging your senses, that you try all of these. So obviously sight. Most of the times, as you notice, when you grabbed your item, I had us go through the sight and look at it. Observe an object in detail, no matter what it is. Just pause and really observe an object in detail. That's engaging your senses. You could do this with anything too, by the way. Just be curious. Allow the sight to be that experience. Then sound. Pause. Listen to the sounds around you. Even if it's, the siren of the ambulance or, the alarm in your patient's room, sometimes just pause and listen in. I promise you that what will come in will surprise you. You will notice things there that you would typically ignore. You'll notice maybe someone in a patient room is playing a beautiful music, a piece of music that you never noticed before. Things come in to surprise you in the most beautiful way when you pause and notice. Touch. Touch is something that we don't allow ourselves to enjoy. So feel textures, whether it is something that you are eating, something you're engaging with, or even your piece of clothing, Oftentimes I love this scarf, or I don't know, whatever it is that I'm wearing. Not only is it warm, but I really, really enjoy the texture of it. It is so soft, it's almost silky. And I appreciate this item so much for it, for the texture, the color. I love everything about it. So be very mindful. Enjoy every little thing. That's mindful. That is mindful practice. It helps you be appreciative as well and grateful. And then smell, notice smells. And I know sometimes we work in a hospital, so sometimes not every smell is pleasant. However, you know, notice the scents that are nearby. When you are walking home, when you're walking around, maybe you go through a park. I make it a point to always smell every single leaf, flower that I find on my way. It is a wonderful gift. If I do nothing else in a day, is just to stop and literally smell the flowers and the roses on your way. It really, truly is a gift. But it could also be smelling that piece of chocolate, like someone mentioned. Now I want to go and get, a piece of chocolate too. But smell, enjoy the smell of the chocolate. Smell what you're eating. Always, always, always pause and smell your item before you eat it. It changes the taste. It changes the taste. It makes it better. So, if anything else, have that be a takeaway and engage in the smell of what you're eating because it quadruples how tasty it is. So great. So that is a whole world of engaging your senses, and hopefully you'll from here be enjoying your life and the world around you a lot more through this. So we just talked about sight. You observe an item in detail. With sound, you pause and listen to sounds around you. With touch, you feel the textures, and smell, you notice anything around you. So now that we've done that, which sense now do you feel most connected to? To which sense do you feel? And this is a poll item as well, so that we can engage with each other. I'm very curious after the experience that we just did with the mindful eating, and now that we are very keenly aware of our senses, which of these do you feel most connected to? You see, each of us as individuals, we're each very individually connected to one sense or the other. Some people are very connected to touch, right? They have very sensitive touch. Some people are very sensitive to taste. Some people, and we know who they are very sensitive to smells. And we all know someone who can just not stand something when you cannot smell, and someone says, oh my God, I cannot stand the smell of this. Well, that person is very connected to their smell. I know people who can hear things that are inaudible and they can hear it. So it's incredible. And then there's sight. So now that you are uniquely aware of senses, which do you think you connect with? Are you that smell person? Is that smell your superpower? Or is sound your superpower? Or is it sight? Or is it touch? I am uniquely aware of touch myself as a Reiki practitioner because, as some of you may know, Reiki is a hands-on practice, and so we use our hands most of the times to come in contact with our patient or the person that we are treating, and so touch is very, very important. Our hands have 1 trillion sensors in them. All right, so I think if anyone, maybe we could see some responses now. Okay. Wow, most people, that is crazy. Most people said that their superpower that they're mostly connected to is smell. So there's a lot of us of those, like your superpower is smell. That's awesome. That's wonderful. And maybe we're just more aware of it because we're in hospitals and there's a lot more of that going around, for better or worse. But I love that you're now aware of the fact that, you know what, I didn't even realize, but I am very connected to the sense of smell. Wonderful. I love that awareness. And then after that, someone says that they're very connected to sight. They realize that they experience the world around them and they take in so much information through observing, through sight. Wonderful. I love this awareness for you. And then after that is a split between sound and taste. So that's really wonderful. So again, this is just awareness. Hopefully this is surprising you in a lovely way. Now that you see that you are strongly connected to one sense or the other, and that is your quote unquote superpower, because this is how you take in the world around you, and you're feeding in, you're not taking in information about your situations, the people you interact with, everything you experience through your superpower sense. And a lot of you, that is smell, it is sight, it is also sound. You listen in, and then some of us is the taste. Wonderful. I love this awareness. And then someone said in the chat that after that lovely relaxation response experience, I found myself going to a place of worry. How do we get our family and friends to support our mindfulness? Okay, great. Okay, well, this is good question. And again, I love your awareness. Your self-awareness is so keen. I love that. When I call it mind-body medicine and research-based, this helps, but mostly, okay, so yeah, so we could be worried that people think that you are, yeah, that is woo-woo, right? When we are focusing on the mind-body perception. Well, I think that is valid, absolutely valid. But as you have seen through our experience and what we did together, I think that doing something as enjoyable as enjoying a piece of chocolate together makes all the difference. I actually saw a friend of mine yesterday, and she didn't have anything. I came over to visit her, and we didn't have anything to eat or anything like that. She said, "You love honey. Do you love honey?" And I said, "I love honey." And she has some organic honey that came from some farm. And do you know what we did? We had nothing else but a glass of water, and each of us had a little spoon, a teaspoon of this honey. And when I tell you, we just sat there and enjoyed this honey for minutes and minutes on end in silence, connecting to the texture, the smell, the taste, and then ending it with gratitude. Gratitude for the bees that made it possible. It was such an incredible way to connect with a very dear friend. And so I invite you to bring this into practice with your family and your friends. Just do it on a day-to-day basis. You don't have to say, you don't have to tell them about mind-body connection. Experience it together and have them enjoy it. And that will make the point right there. And you'll have a lovely time with them. So let's keep going because we're running out of time. So now, practical applications and tools. So simple mindfulness for every day. So it could be breathing, as we did earlier. Also, you can journal, just write your observations as well. And obviously the mindful. So of all of these, which would you be interested in? Which will you try now at home? What is your takeaway? Which of these will you try? I'm curious if you'd like to let us know in the chat. Um, but I hope that at least one of these will become your day-to-day enjoyment. And this is all the ways in which you can bring this into your day-to-day. The exercises, being mindful, don't use your phone while hanging out with friends, and do daily self-reminders for affirmations, of course, meditation, and active listening to people. We don't actually listen to people. We're mostly getting ready to respond. So this is another way to do mindfulness, is mindful listening. And I want to just leave this here. This was meant to be census of the physical body and the mind-body connection, but I also want to introduce you to this. You can be mindful with your emotions. As part of, you can meet your emotions with curiosity, not judge how you're feeling. You can notice your emotions in the body. That's incredible when you start to notice where you feel emotions. We could do a whole other session on that alone. Welcoming emotions instead of resisting them. Please allow emotions, allow yourself to feel. And treating your emotions as temporary visitors. Don't get married to an emotion. Just bring them in and then let them go. There are so many ways that you can be mindful with your emotions as well. Oh, I love this. Someone says, I tell my patients that my emotions are part of me, not all of me. Absolutely. We are not our senses. We are not our emotions. We are the ones experiencing them. We are the observer. The observer. That's why a lot of the mindful practice allows you to be in the side of the observer. Observe how your mind takes in the sight. Observe how you enjoy and how something tastes. You can also observe your thoughts and you can observe your emotions. You are the one experiencing. So that's why why this is so valuable. And that's why so much self-awareness is coming in. Someone is noticing my patterns. I'm noticing so much about me. Why is that happening? Because you put yourself in the observer now. And so the mindful practice of the senses is key for information, for learning about yourself. It's a tool for learning about yourself. So you can create yourself a sensory toolkit. So you could grab, like a stress ball that we have in the hospital sometimes. That's, that has to do with touch. You can have calming music. You can use essential oils. I love using essential oils in my sessions. You could do gratitude. Anything that you can think of, you can do the grape exercise or the eating exercise mindfully now from here on end and enjoy that. That is so much fun. But you could also do the breath while you're working in a meeting, doing whatever. So I really hope that in closing, that you learned at least one wonderful way to now enjoy your senses, and that you've discovered that by being mindful, doing everything mindfully and enjoying it through your senses, that you realize that you'll learn a lot about yourself through that experience, and that you'll enjoy life more. Everything will taste better, everything will smell better. And also that you learned about your superpower. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I hope that this was enjoyable. And so I'm just going to pass it over to Amy to do closing remarks.
Thank you so much, Carmen. This is all what we needed today in the midday. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. As I had mentioned, today's program is being recorded. It'll be made available on the Blum Center website at massgeneral.org/Blum-Center. I would give it about a week or two before for it to get posted. And then stay tuned. Again, as we mentioned, today's session is part of our Blum Center Well-Being Series. We do have our next one coming up. We're taking a break in December, but we'll be back in January, Wednesday, January 15th, where Carmen will be joining us to lead a session on recharge your energy, what fills your cup. There is the link in the Zoom slide, but also let me see if I can share the file digitally.
Thanks.
In the chat. One moment.
And I just wanted to say, while you do that, I wanted to leave my contact information here. I would love to hear from you. Please send me an email. It could be completely random. If you're ever just, enjoying something that you really love, you can email me and let me know what you're feeling. But all jokes aside, I really do want to hear from you. If you do want to discuss a little bit more about how you can bring this into your family experience, and you want to discuss anything related to this, I'm here for you.
Thank you, Carmen. I'm also going to provide the Blum Center email address. I believe for the PDF that I just shared in the chat, it's only available to those who are joining on the computer desktop. You might not be able to see this file, this PDF flyer, if you're joining through a mobile phone or digital, like a portable device. So if you want, feel free to email the Blum Center at pflc@partners.org, and we'd be happy to share the flyer of upcoming sessions as well as the Zoom links. All right, so I think we are at time. Again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Hope to see you in January. Take care.